Welcome to Lanterns Live, the only live stream YouTube channel dedicated solely to the Green Lantern universe. I'm Ralph, and once again, I am joined by Allison Troy, retro toy princess. Again, it's impossible to say like those 5 words at any like brisk speed.
It's not like a tongue. I didn't realize it was a tongue twister until people had to say it out loud. Mm-hmm. When it's all in your head, it's fine.
Yeah. You were on about a month ago.
Yep.
You said you had dropped off from comics and we're looking to probably get back into it. And one of the things I suggested was Far Sector, which I believe you were like interested in.
Almost immediately when you described it, I was like, that sounds perfect.
And then like, I think it was like the next day or 2 days later, you were like, I got it.
Yep, I went and put it in my Amazon cart right away because I am rural. There's no local store, and I wasn't sure I would get to a local store in a timely fashion. Ended up, it worked out I did, but you never know in this day and age. So I had it like within a day or two. I didn't start it right away because I didn't have time set aside. I wanted to wait until I could like just sit and like. I did not finish it in one sitting, but I got about halfway through it in one sitting, and then finished it. And then I've been flipping back through it in preparation for today. So,
yeah, I had read it when it came out. I should have probably jotted down the year, because I have a lot of questions about
2019.
Okay, so I know where we were in our
And I went and looked that up because there were some references where I was like, that's either very dated or very timely to the, like...
Well, that's the thing. Like, is it Tony Gilroy who did Andor was saying like, people are saying, oh, this is such a timely story. And he was basically like, nope, history repeats itself. And so here's the, it just happened to come at a time where, things felt like the show. I haven't read it since I guess 2019. I forgot a lot about it. I remember really liking it, and I had them all downloaded on my iPad, and I was like, I should probably start reading these because I'm a really slow reader. I really, really slow reader. So I downloaded them onto my iPad. And took them with me to my in-laws on Thanksgiving. And I figured if I'm sitting here and they're watching football or whatever, I'm not the biggest football fan. Like I will watch it, but like this is a perfect opportunity for me to have my laptop or my iPad without like it connected to the internet, where like the only thing I could really do with my iPad is read these books. And, I forgot how readable it was, and I got through 7 issues in however long we were there at the in-laws, which is for me is like crazy getting through that much. Because I remember it kind of being heavy stuff or socially aware. So I was like, I feel like it's going to be a slog. I remember liking it, but I remembered it being like, there's a lot of issues being tackled in this, and it's probably going to take me forever to read. So if I could read a couple there, that's great. I read more than half there, and then finished up today, the last 2 today, because again, I'm such a slow reader, and I forgot how, to me at least, and I'll ask your opinion, is like I thoroughly enjoyed it. And thought the pacing was really nice, and I had no trouble reading it. What do you think of Far Sector? Like, what were your expectations going in? Did it meet them?
I didn't have any. I mean, other than you said it was. I tried to really not dig any deeper than what you mentioned. I was just like Ralph said, this is a good one to start with what you described, strong, lady hero. Like we like the ladies. So I was like, and then you had mentioned she was black. So I was like, and she was written by people of color. I was like, I'm in, because like that's, one of the things I do do recognize as part of why I got bored with comics was it was kind of the same old white guys writing all of them, and everything felt really regurgitated to me. It always felt like we were doing the same thing. So like when we get people who aren't like that in there, I get some new, not necessarily new stories because there are quote unquote no new stories, but there's a new flavor to it. And so this was actually perfect. The first thing, as soon as I was like 2 or 3 pages into it, it was giving me one of my favorite comics way back in the day was Green Lantern Mosaic, where John Stewart's on like the big mosaic planet.
Right.
And it not like, oh, they're doing that again, but it was it felt like, okay, because I really liked, it was a very uneven comic. It's not a great comic, but Mosaic's a really readable and enjoyable and interesting comic. And so right from the beginning, I'm like, okay, I like sort of this genre of Green Lantern where it's completely alien. There's not Earth in it other than the hero. And so I was really into that. The other thing that from the get-go, well, 2 things. My first, literally, but when I finished the equivalent of the first issue in here, I wrote Mosaic vibes in a really good way. Who is she? I don't care. That's perfect. I liked that she was, as far as I know, she wasn't existing before this story.
She wasn't.
But even if she had been, like, I felt like they gave us enough that if you had never encountered her, you wouldn't care. Like, she feels from these first few pages really, like, like she's a really well-rounded character throughout. Like, she doesn't have new character syndrome you sometimes get with comics where it's like they don't really necessarily jump out. Like, she feels fully formed. Like, you know, she's a brand new character, but she could have like 30 years of history that this writer was drawing from. So I really liked that. But also it didn't matter that I haven't read 30 years of her.
That's really good because the thing is, when I started rereading it, I'm like, oh man, they're throwing a lot of weird things in there, like alien character names have a bizarre like structure. The world is completely disorienting. And it's supposed to be that. Like, I know it's supposed to be that. And here's a character that's kind of just plopped into this world. And I was like, oh man, it reads like she's had like, you know, years of continuity behind her. And I was almost afraid, like, I'm like, oh man, I hope this isn't confusing for anybody reading it. But as I got to like, by the time I got like to the second issue, I was like, oh, I get it.
She's really grounded. The story is the world around her isn't, but that's for me, that was a part of the overall narrative. This is not a grounded world because of the emotion blocker thing. So like for me, it works because even though the history we get, you know, her history that we get, like, is obviously not traumatic. It's not a traumatic history. She doesn't have like trauma, but she has like stuff to get over. But she's still really like grounded. She's really like her sense of identity, like her sense of self. I really love that she's not. Sometimes, especially with, I'm going to say this is partly because this is a female hero written by a woman. We don't get the, oh my God, I don't know who I am. Like, there's none of that with her. There's some like, wow, this is messed up. I don't know what I'm doing, but it's not from a place of, oh my God, let me twirl my hair. What do I do? Like, it was real. Like, it was a real sense of like, not uncertainty because she's not capable, uncertainty because the world around her is so alien. So
I forgot the fact that she was a soldier as well as a cop. That was something that I completely forgot about because we do get some flashbacks in how she got the ring and stuff like that. Like meeting a guardian in a bar or a club, I thought was really interesting. I think she's a great candidate for a Green Lantern.
Like it was, I thought like, this is really cool. Like, I don't like it felt like N.K. Jemisin. I hope I said her name right. It felt like she really thought this through and really like when she was when she was creating Joe, it felt like she really like put everything into her. Like she's just a great character. Like it's like Pallas Athena. She arrives fully formed, like but still mysterious enough that you want to read about her and figure out who she is. Like,
right. And I like that she doesn't cry. She seems very like, even though she's new to being a Green Lantern,
right?
She understands what a Green Lantern is and what the job entails, and she goes and does it. She speaks her mind. She doesn't like doubt her powers.
Right.
She has this unique ring that doesn't need to be recharged every 24 hours like a regular Green Lantern. It has like one set timeline, and she has to make sure that doesn't go past 0 or dip below 0. And so it's never really a hindrance. I like that she understands that rule.
Yeah.
And is like, hey, listen, I'm going to just like chill out being a Green Lantern while this thing gets some more juice so that, she could really like unleash it when she needs it. She feels like she's in complete control of what she's doing. There's never, any sort of relationship she has with like Citizen and Marth, and she's Marth. In control of that. She's never really like abused, or she isn't. I mean, she's like she's treated shitty because they're maybe shitty people, but it's not like a big character thing.
Well, it's more that they're not always. They look down on her because of her emotion, right? Which is ironic when where we get to at the end of the story, like their lack of emotion and their desire to like keep the lack of emotion, like creates a lot of badness. So like,
I really thought it was interesting how this society has this emotion exploit, which basically makes everybody like have no feelings.
Well, I sort of like that they played. It felt like Star Trek. I mean, you can't really talk sci-fi without sort of bringing things like Star Trek and Star Wars in. With Star Trek, it's always, Spock is very cold and emotionless, and he's kind of like whenever that element was introduced, I thought, okay, like. So it's supposedly a planet full of Spocks, like, and we're going to play with that. And then the fact that we get, as much as you can in a comic, we get like the actual effects of what it would be like to be an emotionless race.
And what I like about it too is everybody's aware that Joe has emotion. She doesn't have this exploit, this blocker in it. And they all seem cool with it. Some of them are like, I don't know if you're probably the best person to be here.
Right.
But for the most part, you can tell that a lot of people are curious about it and curious about her and how she's able to make her way through life feeling emotion. I really enjoy the relationships, the more, I guess, romantic relationships. She feels very in control of everything. It's not like she falls in love with someone and all of a sudden she's getting manipulated or anything. She's very a part of a relationship. Like I have a relationship with my wife. We've been together for 26 years and it's never been like, it's always just been like a team. It's always been like, you have conversations and you do these things together as a team. And so I like that the romantic stuff in this wasn't played melodramatic. It wasn't like a soap opera. It wasn't like, a novel, like a romance novel.
Like what I liked is, especially with Marth, it's like the way the two of them sort of almost complement each other because of sort of like the cold detachment of Marth. I keep wanting to call her Moran for some reason. I don't know why. But Marth, but what I liked about it is, is that like she's one of the few people who don't seem to look down on Joe for having emotions, but she seems at times she comes across as really not quite sure how to handle that because she doesn't, right? So how do you have a relationship with somebody when only one of them's actually feeling the actual emotion? And it's like Joe doesn't really seem to have any. She doesn't really seem to have as much conflict as one might expect with that.
Yeah.
It seems like the people without emotions seem more conflicted about not having emotions when they're with her. Well, and I like that as well. Like,
yeah, there's the whole thing where, like, you see it in politics where when a woman runs for office, a lot of news or you hear it on the news.
Yeah.
Like a lot of opponents will say that women are too emotional, for office and stuff. And it's one of those things where this kind of plays on it a little bit, where as soon as Joe like kind of like flies off the handle a little bit, especially at that meme farming facility, where they're like, boom, finally she's done something emotional. We could pin her. We could pin that on her and like arrest her and all that stuff. And so for me, it's like almost they were like, they're all cool with it. She's a Green Lantern. They respect Green Lanterns. They understand that the Guardians made a decision to make this person a Green Lantern, but it's almost like they were waiting for that moment where her emotion gets in the way or does something that they don't like, and they can just immediately point to that and make her an example.
I kept thinking about it during this, and there was another, it's like a politic thing that I've been following, but so not applicable really, but at the same time, kind of, where it's like that quote from Jurassic Park, nature finds a way, because they originally, genetically alter all the dinosaurs to not be able, to not be able to reproduce, but they do anyway, because nature finds a way. And it's kind of, I kept thinking that as they're going through it, it's, I mean, technically they're having to use a drug to turn it off, but at the same time, like, there are times even people who aren't taking the drugs say things where it's like, you can tell that, like you said, they're curious about her having emotions, but you can also get and of course that plays out here politically, the way things go, but you get the sense that everyone here is either afraid of having emotions because of sort of what happened once upon a time, or like they're very curious about like what it would be like to feel more. And I just kind of really like it was such a unique like background, I thought. Like,
yeah, with Joe being the only one actually like sanctioned and okay, and it's legal for her to have emotion, like it was like almost like this thing where everybody wanted to know about it. Yeah, and then when Martha was taking the what is it called, the drug that allows you to feel, and then coming to the apartment and like hitting on her in that sort of toxic way.
Yeah.
Like that was like the default for that character. Getting like freshly getting emotions for the first time and like not being able to deal with it whatsoever.
Right.
That's one of the things I put on like Attack of the Clones. People rip on that movie and say Anakin's so awkward and he's such a bad actor. But I always, for me, in my headcanon say he's been a Jedi his whole life and he's awkward. He's an awkward teen and doesn't know how to handle these new emotions that he's feeling.
Anakin should be awkward. And, to a degree, so should Padme, because Padme has been, if you know the lore there, she was elected Princess of Theed, which is like mayor of the city, before she became Queen Amidala, and at 12. So, like, since from the get-go, she was always raised to become a politician where you have to balance the needs of the many over your own. People want to come, like, this is a different show, obviously. But if you ever want to talk the bad romance, like, and as long as we both agree that it's the Lucas writing there that made that one fall flat, we're good. So
yeah, I totally get all that. But when it comes to like enjoying the movie without being distracted, I came up with that just because I'm like, that'll help me get through this.
Right.
I need to remember he's an awkward teen in the galaxy who's been hanging out with basically a religious cult since he was like 9, you know. And there's that one girl he remembers from way back when, and he's like, the
Angels of Viego. The other thing I wrote, and this was really early on, I liked how dense this story was. I thought I had missed, sort of the chapter, i.e. issue break, but here it's like a chapter break. I thought I had missed it when I was reading the first one because it's such a dense story and a lot of I don't know if this is common for comics now or not, but it took me a while to read it, which was great because when I got to the end of my comics back in the day, I could sit and read like my stack of 15 to 30 books, depending on which, what was released that week. I could read it like in 3 hours because it was just done like that, right? Because everyone was writing for trades. This took me, it took 2 times to sit down to read to finish this. And it was just like, it's dense. It's dense the way I remember comic books being back in the day, which is one of the things I have missed. Is like where even if it's a single issue of an ongoing story, you sit down, you get that chunk of time where it's like the story is dense. You're feeling very full at the end of the issue, even if there's a cliffhanger or if it's to be continued. And I really felt that here. Like I felt like, again, technically
cliffhangers. I think are really good.
But like also it's so dense. Like when there was a cliffhanger, it was also like I could imagine if I had read this monthly when it came out, that one, it would be frustrating to have to wait. But on the other hand, it would also be like, okay, now I can sort of decompress and like take this all in.
Right. So, and that's one of the things for me is like Grant Morrison did a run a few years back on Green Lantern, and his books were incredibly dense to the point where I'm again, I'm not a good reader. I'm trying to be better. It's for some reason there's something there's faulty wiring in my brain.
Right.
When I read, it makes me sleepy. And it's so like for me, I was very surprised that I was actually did this in basically the first half in one sitting, considering how dense it was. And I chalk it up and listen, nothing against the writing, but also the artwork is fucking incredible.
It's really good art. I love
the art. And so it like keeps my interest because I can't wait to see what's on the next page. One of the things that I absolutely love is the consistency in the art. Like the character design of Jo is so perfect that when she's not Green Lantern, she goes through a lot of different hairstyles.
Yeah. But
it still looks like her. It's still, and I know it's because everyone else is aliens and they have markings on their face or whatever. But it was like, as far as I'm concerned, this book is perfect when it comes to layout and lettering and storytelling. Yeah. Like it's every page is set up so perfectly. There's never a moment where I read something and then have to go back to a previous panel to sort of catch my bearings. It's laid out very concisely.
The artist actually, like, it feels like, and this goes into what you said, it feels like the artist actually designed characters and gave each of them unique faces. Because even without, like markings on them or whatever, the characters still, like, they all have a distinct nose. They have a distinct, their lips are different. Like, there isn't sort of a copy and paste, like the old Vince Colletta comics from this, where he would ink and everyone looked the same. And then that was sort of the norm until like George Perez came along. And like Perez, everyone had a unique face. Like he based people's, like for a long time, Donna Troy was based on Marie Osmond, and Raven was based on the actress who, from Star Trek, the bald lady. So he based people on actual actors. So, like Tara, the Judas Contract girl, was based like on his wife's sister. So like she had distinctive face, and like that was something Perez did all the time. And that's part of why, even if you took around the density of how he draws and like his realism, like Perez is still a master. And it feels like this artist did that, where it's like everyone had a unique face. He based it on someone, and he kept that consistent through the book.
There was actually a moment where the widow of one of the people that were murdered comes back, and she's basically coming face to face with one of the police officers or the peace officers, and they added a little chyron on the bottom that reminded us who she was.
Right.
And I was like, I didn't need that. I know exactly who this is. So I feel like that was almost put in there because they wanted to make sure people knew who she was. But I'm saying, like, I did not need that.
I didn't. I didn't feel like I did either.
That whole little storyline, that subplot of the protesters, the peaceful protesters, the peace officers, the massacre,
right?
And then her at the end joining with the peace officers to stop like the government. Right. It's kind of what I hope when I see these, these images on the news of these peaceful protests with the cops, and then also like there's ICE involved, and it's like, man, if those cops could just hang out with the protesters who are, they're there to protect and serve these people. If these two got together against ICE, like that's what it felt like. And I'm like, this is so relevant to now as opposed to 2019.
Well, 2019 though, it was written sort of during the early days of the Black Lives Matter movement. So like, so obviously but that's funny because I thought like, that's why I was like, well, when was this written? Because some of this is reminding me of the Black Lives Matter protests. But of course, still relevant to today because we're still protesting and, getting out there on weekends when
we're talking about genocide. It's political parties. It's the groups. This has three groups of people that are just like infighting, and it all just continues to ring true.
It was horrible, but I laughed whenever the one alien was like, "We don't eat you. We need," like when they were talking about like, at least if we're in charge, we'll at least ask you before we eat you. I was like, horrible.
Yeah.
I was like, that was horrible. I'm like, and then I thought of politics. And I'm like, well,
The thing with politics is it doesn't change. And I realize this because during lockdown, we were just binging old 80s sitcoms and stuff. We rewatched like The Nanny and Bosom Buddies, and we rewatched everything. One of the shows we rewatched was Head of the Class, and literally every episode tackled some social issue that's still happening now. And I'm like, this show's from like 30, 40 years ago, and nothing's changed. Like, it's crazy. So I guess like if you're setting out to write a story like this, like it's kind of easy to like shine a light on social issues because they just don't change.
No, they really don't.
If you go back and read like the first issue with like Jon Stewart and Hard Traveling Heroes with Hal and Ollie, like a lot of that stuff that they were tackling is like happening all over again.
Yeah.
The way like this tackles like not only politics and like genocide and police, but it also tackles like relationships, and it tackles like social media. like that was the thing when they're like trying to like collect memes. because nobody has emotions, that nobody can create a meme. So like there's this whole thing where they want to like collect old memes, but now with people with this, it's called shut off, this drug, and these people are taking this drug that's giving them emotions. They're like, oh man, we can exploit this,
right,
to create stuff for us to make money, and they're doing it shady. Like they told Joe that it was gonna be all these are volunteers. Everybody volunteered to do this, but it clearly was not, and they were holding people hostage. And it's like sweatshops. So this somehow in these 12 issues they were able to tackle like almost every single social issue.
But I also thought it was really clever because it's set like in far space in this very alien world. I think for the people who are trying to sort of escape politics and get away from it, like I think it's really easy to read this without adding that context to it if you don't want that. And for the people who like, I don't think about politics, or I don't mean them. I mean the people who like are out there like protesting or are fighting or for rights or whatever, to be able to read this and get sort of like that worldview still, but also be able to sort of escape it and get into a really cool alien world with like gorgeous art. Like it sort of, I feel like functions that way too, because even though that sort of kept like pinging for me, I was able to completely at points just detach and enjoy this for like comic book goodness. Like this was the perfect suggestion, Ralph. Like this is exactly
which for me this is I think hands down, in my opinion, the best Green Lantern story since Blackest Night. Jeff Johns back in like 2008, 2010 or whatever. And I don't say that lightly. Like it's so good. I think such a good story.
And I don't want to be sacrilege. I think I liked this better than Blackest Night.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's self-contained. Like I enjoyed that I don't need to go read 30,000 other comics to get the full story, or I haven't needed to be reading 10 comics. And I did and there are a couple of advertised in here of the other the compact comics. And I was looking at those, and I looked at a few when I was able to pop into the while my dumplings were cooking. Because in Portland there are a couple of food carts. There's one by this comic shop called Cosmic Monkey, and my dumplings were cooking for dinner at the food cart, and I'm like, Cosmic Monkey's right there. Let me just run in. And of course, everything they had left for the compact comics was like Watchmen and V for Vendetta and Wonder Woman, Earth stuff I already had. Like the Catwoman one, I've got Hush, I've got most of that in single issues from back in the day. But I very much am hoping that these are doing well, because I would like to pick up more of these, because it seems like all of them are sort of self-contained. Like all you need to do is read this book and you're going to get most of the story. And I like that it fit into my back pretty easy. So it made it easier to not forget it.
Yeah. I bet just been using Comixology for the last 15 years or so.
I have a hard time using online, our digital comics on the tablet.
That's Stevie's that way.
I have a bunch of the old CBR files from way back in the day. And I can do those okay. But anything, if it's not sort of big and on a monitor, it needs to be paper. I also absorb it better when it's an actual paper book, I've noticed. So I have a hard time with my Kindle. I've got a lot of Kindle books, and it's like I've read a fraction of them because it just ultimately I find I don't absorb the story as much when it's not paperback.
Yeah. Well, according to Vector and Google AI, it sounds like the compact comics line is a major sales juggernaut.
Well, hopefully they find more stuff like this that is perfect for this format, because and getting back into sort of I say modern, this is from 2019, so this is 6 years old.
In the grand scheme of things, though, I think it is a modern classic. I feel like it is a classic.
I feel like this is probably one. It was a great because it's exactly what I like to read. It's got all of my favorite things about comics, but also like I just feel like this is, like you said, kind of timeless. Like in 20 years, I think people will still look at this as a really great comic that was written. Like maybe in 30 years, they'll be re-releasing this every few years the same way they do Watchmen.
Right. So Jo, even though this is a self-contained story,
right?
Jo has made her way into the regular Green Lantern and Green Lantern Corps books.
Well, I should hope. She's too good of a character to like.
I know, but here's the thing, and I'm gonna. So in 2 weeks, I'm gonna be doing an interview with Morgan Hampton, who is doing the current run of Green Lantern Corps. So everybody should check that out. But I'd like to ask him about it because it's so hard because they're still juggling like 7 Green Lantern characters, and I don't think that. I feel like Jo will get maybe 3 or 4 lines an issue if you're lucky, and it's not really exploring her character. The only thing that they're doing is, and I find this very, very interesting, and I'm curious to know what your take on it is she seems to be getting paired up with Guy Gardner a lot, and there seems to be some sparks flying between them.
I don't know how I feel about a romance because for me, Guy Gardner and Ice are always endgame. Because I think the sweetness of Ice and her naivety is the perfect counterpoint to Guy Gardner's complete assholery.
Right.
I like the idea of her. Like I could see her and Guy Gardner working as partners really well.
That's like, basically what they're doing.
You get that buddy cop dynamic where you have the one who is like not necessarily by the book, but follows the rules and like is, not going to fly off the handle. And then you've got Guy Gardner he's like the Murtak of the two. Like I could see that working with how they establish her in this, like, and it being a really nice way to play off of each other because they would both have to sort of, compromise at times, but also both of them at different, depending on what the case is or the villain is or whatever it is, it feels like at different times Guy Gardner would have to like admit that she's right, and then other times she might have to admit he's right. So I could see it I could see that working if they don't try to make them a couple. Like I don't.
So for me, kind of what's been happening is they've been paired up a lot lately. And of course, my brain goes to romantic. But with Guy Gardner, like everyone just kind of puts up with him.
Yep.
And every once in a while, someone will get fed up, like Hal or John or Kyle. Usually not Kyle, but they'll actually like put him in his place and like just like put him in his place and like make him like stop doing whatever stupid shit he's doing. With Jo, the way they're written together is there's a mutual respect.
Right.
And I think Guy treats her with more respect and doesn't needle her as much as he would other Lantern members. I think probably because she was a soldier and a cop. I think the current continuity is that Guy Gardner is a former cop.
Right.
But there's something there. I definitely like them together, and I can't wait to find out more because I'm like, I kind of want, I don't know. This is stupid. I want them both to be happy.
Right.
I want Jo to be so happy. And I'm just hoping like, it doesn't necessarily need to be romantic, but there was something in Sam Humphrey's run of Green Lanterns where I really didn't care for Simon Baz that much, but his relationship with Jessica was really, really, really well written. And I like to watch them two flourish as a team. And so I'm hoping that kind of happens with these two. I think it's an interesting dynamic because Jo definitely doesn't take shit from anybody.
Mm-mm.
And she's in control of what she says and what she does. And you can tell she's thinking of all the angles and knows how to deal with situations. Like just seeing her in the council room with the 3 different counselors
Yeah.
She never once got flustered by, like, she got like she was mad at them, but she would tell them that they're being.
Well, I also, and sort of speaking of that, she did a pretty good job of navigating it. I also like, and again, this is one of the tropes. I'm glad it became a trope, but I'm also like glad we're working past sort of it as a trope. I'm glad they never like strong, powerful femaled her, where it's like she's a strong, powerful woman. Obviously she is, but like she actually they just show us that she's a powerful character and she's strong. Like it's never told to us. We see her as fully capable superhero, Green Lantern.
Right. She's never doubting her power. She knows exactly what she has and how to deal with the situation. Well, any sort of inner monologue where she messes up, it's usually like, shit, I'm smarter than this.
Yeah. And I liked that a lot. I liked that they never turned her into like a stereotypical woman hero. And she just got to be a really kick-ass hero. Let me see if I had any other big notes. I like
happy ending, which I thought was interesting.
I liked that, and I thought that's what made it work really well as sort of the compact. Because again, I got a complete story. If there is never, as far as I know, this could be the only story Jo is ever in, and if so, you get a complete story. She has a complete character arc in here, and you're good. I'm glad that there's more stuff with her, but I also like, again, because of where I'm at with coming back to modern comics, I really appreciated that I could read this, set it down, have this great comic experience, and wonder what happened to her, but I'm not going to feel like I now have to go buy 17 comics.
Right.
And I didn't get a complete ending, and I didn't get, obviously there's the like, well, what happens on, the planet now that they can feel things? There's a story to be had, but it's not.
It kind of leaves you with a little bit of hope.
And it leaves you with like promise for both more story, but also promise that the characters will succeed, even if you never read about them again. So like I liked, and again, this is sort of where I am. There are other people who are going to be like, no, we need 37 more issues right away, and that I love that for them. That's just not where I am. What was the other thing? My only other note was I liked, because we get chapter breaks, right, between where the issues would be.
Right.
I thought they were really clever and really smart about sort of the recap parts. You get a little bit of a recap through story, but you also get sort of this page that sort of does the overview. And if I had, say, picked up issue 3 of this in a comic store because of the cool covers, I would have been really grateful for that. Yeah. Because I picked up Absolute Wonder Woman over the weekend. Just 2 issues to try it out, to decide if I want to buy a trade. And I was so confused by why Wonder Woman is so dark and edgy. And I complained to somebody, and they're like, oh no, it's the Dark Side universe. Everyone's dark and edgy. And I'm like, okay, I'm fine now. Because now I know.
I started reading Absolute Green Lantern. You can watch those 2 episodes on this channel. Once they come out on trade, I will end up finishing them up. But it was one of those things where it's like Jo is the main character in that book, but it's a different version of her. Okay. She works at some factory with John and Hal, and it's like so weird. Where I'm just like, I don't get it. I don't know what it's for, and I understand it's Elseworlds. Yeah, but I'd rather like time, because the art's good and the writing's fine. I just wish it was more. I wish they would do more stuff like this. That's how I felt with the Wonder Woman. I loved the characterization the writer was giving her. Like it felt like Wonder Woman, like, because often Wonder Woman doesn't feel like Wonder Woman. I'm like, I just don't want her to be in hell. Cersei's not her mom. Yeah. Why? And then people are like, Dark Side World. I'm like, okay, fine. But I've also been picking up the Tom King Wonder Woman. And I know people hate Tom King. Right. It's a discussion for another time. I don't hate his writing. I just don't feel like he's a good Wonder Woman. I'm a huge fan of the old cheesy Wonder Woman villains.
And some of the issues I picked up had Mouse Man, who is one of the cheesiest, stupidest Wonder Woman villains ever. He's like a tiny man dressed like a mouse. That's all he's got. And sometimes he can control mice. It's fun, and of course the 5 or 6 issues I picked up of Wonder Woman had Mouse Man in it, so I'm like, okay, I'm invested. I liked what he's doing with Mouse Man, but his Wonder Woman is terrible. Like, it doesn't feel like Diana. Whereas the Dark Side Wonder Woman, the 2 issues I read, I'm like, this feels like Wonder Woman. Why can't we? Like, Tom King, you come over here, and I think it's Kelly Thompson. You come over here, like, let's trade. And unfortunately, it just didn't work. See, and Vector likes Tom King, and that's cool.
Yeah, I haven't read Tom King, and I'm not a big writer, but he is the 3rd person running Lanterns, the series. And I heard he's hit and miss. I'm hoping Lanterns is a hit.
That's what I've heard. I know some people who really hate everything he does, and some people who love everything he does. I guess he did a
Alan Scott story, I believe, that people love.
I have only read the 2. No, it's like 4 issues with Mouse Man. I've only read those, so that's all the Tom King I have ever read. I like what he's doing with Mouse Man. I think I would like it more if he were doing it as a Trinity story, like Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman, because they're all kind of in there anyway. I just don't. I'm really persnickety about my Wonder Woman, though, which is part of why I left. Everyone's like, Brian Azzarello is the best Wonder Woman writer ever, and I'm like, I'm good, thanks. So,
I wouldn't mind to see this team that worked on Far Sector work on a Wonder Woman story.
I would like, definitely. I would like. I would go read that. I would go buy that.
I like. It's this is probably my maleness coming through, but I liked the design of Jo, like from a body standpoint.
Right.
I liked that she wasn't drawn like a comic character. I mean, clearly she's still shapely in the right places, but I did appreciate that. I thought that like made the character feel more real. Like I would see somebody like that.
Her hips don't lie. Let's say that.
No.
Her hips do not lie. Well, but again, that there are a lot of sexy people in this book, but they're realistically sexy people. They don't have weird, none of them are like razor. I mean, like one of the alien species look like they're super skinny, but I think that's just the design of that alien species. Yeah. It's not. But I like, like she doesn't have she doesn't have the thong up her butt syndrome. Like, she's got
the outfit. I love the outfit.
I love how like the mask is almost like if you were to turn that, like give her purple visors and then make her costume all black and then give her a different symbol, that could be a Catwoman redesign. I like how like you could throw a few things on it and it could work as a Harley Quinn redesign. It's just a very good design of a costume. Like
it's really good. Like I think bottom, even the lettering. Yeah. It's so nice and clean and precise.
This is a beautifully put together comic book. Like
it really is. I almost want to get like an actual like physical copy of it.
I'm telling it's especially like let me find the pages because I know things are beautiful on the computer and stuff, but like the scene at the end in the picnic, right?
Oh,
they're having a picnic piece.
Yeah.
So I don't know how good my camera here is because this is not the one I would use for coloring or anything. But these pages in person, they're like, they just pop. They like, I mean, throughout the whole thing, but this is this one I just sat for a few minutes and took it in because the colors are so beautiful and the composition is so good. Like, this is just... From the writing to the everything, this is a beautifully put together comic. Like this is what, if there had been more of this back in 2013, I probably would not have quit comics because this is like, when I read comics, this is the experience I want. I want the art to be beautiful. I want the colors to pop. I want an engaging story that doesn't feel like every other story. And I want something that's a little different. Like, obviously, there's only so many stories, as I think I've mentioned a time or two, but like, there's enough different in this that it doesn't feel like I've experienced that story. And again, like I said, I liked that there was sort of that almost echo of Jon Stewart Mosaic. Like, because that to me was a really cool comic. So I like that they took that sort of alien world concept with the Green Lantern and put it.
So with Mosaic, I downloaded on Comixology years ago, like the first, I think, like 5 issues.
Yeah.
And I started reading it. And then I had to go purchase the rest of them on Comixology, and they weren't available.
Right.
And then,
right.
So then the same thing happened with Green Lantern, the series that started in 1990 with Green Lantern 1. For some reason, I had downloaded like every issue at some point, with the exception of issue 13. And I went to go download issue 13 so I can, fill in that gap. Wasn't available on Comixology. And when I went to the Kindle store, and I know Amazon's evil and stuff, but when I went to the Kindle store, like all of those books, Green Lantern issue 1 through 50 were not available to buy. I had purchased those already, so it was grandfathered into my account.
Yeah.
But you can no longer get those issues or Mosaic. They have been pulled from Comixology and the Kindle, and there's a reason why. And I'm actually talking about that on Monday. I'm doing a member live stream on my channel, so it's a little bit of a plug, but the writer of that book, Gerard Jones, went to prison because they found stuff on his work.
Oh, good God, yes.
So it's a crazy, like, it's a bad, bad news.
Just
I believe that's the reason why they pulled it. And so now I can't finish reading Mosaic. And so I'm going to have a whole conversation with members of the channel and members of my Patreon about artist versus art, and like, what do you like? How do you deal with this stuff? And so it's not a fun topic, but I do. It's bad. It's really, really bad. And it sucks because it's happening to like my favorite characters, but I'll tell you this, here's some good stuff. Vactor mentions, if you like this, he highly recommends DC The New Frontier. It's the Justice League New Frontier Darwin Cook book, which I think I mentioned to you last time.
Yeah, you did.
One that takes place between Golden Age and Silver Age. And it puts in real world events. And then Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. Okay. But that's by Tom King.
Well, so Supergirl is one of my characters. Like, as a kid, I think I told you the story when I was here last time that my dad would bring home the comics from 7-Eleven.
Right.
Supergirl often came home because they didn't sell as well as regular. When I went to see Superman the movie, I'm like, where's his cousin? Like, he's not in this whole movie by himself, is he? Because I didn't understand that. Because Supergirl, Lois Lane, Jimmy Olsen were always in Superman families, so Superman's a supporting character. I was 3, so. But yeah, no, that I will try.
Yeah, and they're both available in Compact Comics. Is why he's also recommending.
Yeah, that I will. Like I said, I read the Tom King a couple issues of the Wonder Woman, and I liked what he did with Mouseman. I just didn't like his Wonder Woman. Supergirl and Wonder Woman, contrary to what some writers might think, are different characters. So, I might like his take on, because it's a strong woman who can beat people up.
And I guess that the Supergirl movie coming out next summer, I believe, is heavily based on that book.
Okay. Well, I will check it out then. That way I can know the 411 before.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I might actually read that as well. I'll probably just download it from the ebook corporation. But
I have to go back up to Portland later this month for work, dinner, holiday stuff. And I will be by 2 different of the best comic book stores in the world. Excalibur, Portland, shout out. They're not listening, but anyone who listens to this, if you're in Portland, find Excalibur. They were established in 1974. They're still open,
okay.
and they're still run by the same family who started them.
That's great.
Ask for Debbie. She's your girl. She'll hook you up.
If I'm ever up there.
If you're ever up in Portland, let me know. I will drive like the 6 hours up to Portland, and we will go get comics and like food and like be nerds. So
yeah. I might actually see if I can get these. If I get DC New Frontier and Supergirl, Women of Tomorrow, and these compact comics, I think Stevie would read those.
Yeah.
And then I would piggyback on that. That might be a good thing. She has issue reading comic books digitally as well.
I would love to do it. Like, it would be so much more compact.
Yeah.
I've got like 32 long boxes over on the other side of my shelves that I'm still going through. I've got a ton of Green Lantern too. So future episode, as I start going through my old Green Lantern stuff and cataloging it, I might reread it. So maybe we can do some vintage.
Yeah. I set up a playlist. I set up a playlist that's called the Green Lantern Classics, where I this one I put in there in that because I don't need a Far Sector playlist.
Yeah.
But I did like Showcase 22. I think I want to do either Showcase 23 and 4 or do like Silver Age Green Lantern 1, or when Lantern starts picking up, do what was it, Green Lantern 1, Green Lantern 75, the first appearance of John Stewart. I think that's the issue number. I could be wrong. Yeah. Like Hard Traveling Heroes and stuff, I definitely want to tackle. So let me know what you have.
Yeah,
I have like, I think it's like 15,000 downloaded comics from Comixology. It's like nuts. It's like a nuts number.
So Vactor, just so you know, Supergirl Women of Tomorrow is by Tom King, does not come out until Tuesday, January 6th. I just pre-ordered it. So if I hate it, it's your fault. So
you'll have to join Vactor. Maybe we can get together. I'm being very anal about this channel being
that's fine.
Green Lantern. But New Frontier, there's a really good animated version of that that they did, like an animated movie where like Neil Patrick Harris is Barry Allen. What's his name? David Boreanaz is Hal Jordan. Yeah. Like it's a really who's Wonder Woman is Brooke Shields.
Oh, nice.
Like the new friend.
Yeah. No, I can see that really well.
I wanted to do a watch of that because it's very great. There's one of the major through lines is Hal Jordan's origins, and I asked Kayla, our friend Kayla Silva, to join me, and she didn't respond. I'm gonna have to give her shit.
Give her some shit. Yeah, she's
really accessible.
So New Frontier, I just I put in my cart to order on Friday when I have to do my like cats, like my action. The only time I order from Amazon is once a month for certain supplies we can't get locally. So yes, but so I put in the cart to order it.
That's awesome. That's basically like what you did with the Far Sector, because it was like 2 days later or something.
Yeah,
you sent me the picture. I was like, oh my gosh, she really did it.
I literally put it in my cart, and then as soon as it was like cat supply order day, I pulled it. And because for whatever reason, when I ordered it lined up with when things were going out, it was here. And usually it takes 2 or 3 days because we're pretty far out from all the distribution centers now. I mean, before when I lived in Portland, we were a couple blocks because Matt used to work there. So like I would order something at 6 a.m. and at 9:30 they would be knocking on the door to leave it on our stoop. So like I miss that kind of, but also I order less stuff now and buy from local people. So
yeah, Todd CE asks, Green Lantern only here?
It's true, Todd.
I'll tackle Red Lanterns and Orange Lanterns and all the other colors, but basically like anything Lantern, I feel like New Frontier is so Hal Jordan heavy that I count it. So I definitely do that.
I think there's some stories, Justice League stories, that you could probably get away with because they are Lantern-ish.
Yeah. I've been doing the current run of Green Lantern, or not Green Lantern, Justice League Red, which is where Simon Bass has been hanging out.
Yeah.
So
I
like,
got a little bit of him because he's came with the New 52.
right.
I liked him. I didn't stick around long enough to get more of him. He wasn't. I didn't like him enough to stay in the comics. It just no knock on Simon Bass. He just I had too much going on.
I mean, listen. There's like I think right now there's something like 7 Earth Lanterns.
Yeah,
and it's just like I mean, someone's got to be like, you can't have your full attention on that, which is why I'm excited to have Morgan Hampton on, is because he has to juggle all of them. He has to juggle all of them, and I'm curious to know like where he decides who he would rather like showcase. And right now he's really showcasing John Stewart, and so in 1 week I'll be talking about Green Lantern Corps number 11 with Vactor. He's going to be in here. Excellent. And then a week after that, Morgan asked, he actually requested to be on the show specifically after Green Lantern Corps 11. So I'm really excited to see what happens in that book and that. We're going to get going pretty soon here. I actually have another podcast. I'm going to be a guest in like an hour, and I got to get dinner going. But Derek Hoover asks before it bounces for dinner, Ralph, Last Will and Testament of Hal Jordan. Have you read it? And if so, thoughts? I think, yeah. I think I've read it. It's been so long, I don't know the titles of things. So if it was within a run of something, chances are I read it. I'll have to look it up. Uh-oh. Kayla's ears are ringing. She said she heard someone was giving her shit. Who told you that I was giving you shit?
Yeah.
Who's
Kayla's listening. She's just not answering.
Kayla, I sent you a text message like in August.
Yeah, Kayla.
I really wanted you to come on the show. Oh, Vactor. Now Mark is here. Everyone shows up at the very end just to like start shit.
Hi, Mark. Hi, Kayla.
Oh my gosh, everybody's in here.
Kayla is always the same.
Let's do some plugs. Let's get your plugs.
All right. Yeah, I got plugs, y'all. Let's see. Where are we at? I have to look at the calendar because I'm over the thing. All right. I've got shorts always dropping. On Friday night, I will be live on my channel with Derek J. Hoover and Andrew of Gady's Toys. We'll be doing a retro cavalcade. We're going to look at the 1985 Sears catalog, which includes Superpowers toys, as well as masks and all the goodies of the 80s. Oh my God, Sunday, I'm doing a coloring live stream by myself.
Mask?
Yep. The Masked Crusaders fighting crime overtime. I think that's how it goes. Yeah. Secret Raiders. Yep, that mask. So there's some mask in there. We're going to do that. And then Sunday, I've got a solo live stream. I can't remember what I said I was going to color. I have to go look. And then for Lantern fans, last Sunday I dropped a Kyle Rayner short. That was a lot of fun to do because Kyle was technically my Green Lantern. Even though I knew Hal Jordan, like Kyle was the first new Lantern that they introduced during my comics reading phase. So he was really cool that way. So
Jack in the Box toy from like the 90s.
Yeah, Kyle. Total. Yeah, we'll get Ralph. Ralph and I have been trying to line up for a Sunday for a long time, and just
Yeah, that's when I play Fireball Island with the boys.
He's playing. Yeah, so we'll figure it out. We also have talked about pre-record.
Now I'm getting text messages from Kayla.
Yeah.
She said, how did I miss this? I don't know.
Exactly.
She's giving you the cold shoulder.
Exactly. Kayla. So anyway, I've got stuff always happening on my channel because I like to overextend myself and make content. So
yeah.
if you're listening to this and most of the people in chat today know the channel and have either been on it or watched it or commented. We love you all. But if you're one of the new people, check my channel out. There's all kinds of 80s, 90s, and early 2000s now. Goodness. Because we old. I realized the other day, things that came out in 2005 are vintage now. Because vintage is 20 years or older.
We were watching a Lawrence Welk show from like a Thanksgiving, like 1970, like, or 1969 or 71 or something. And I was like, man, that was only like 5 or 6 years before I was born. And like 5 and 6 years is nothing. And it looks so old. Yeah. And then I realized I'm so old.
I'm so old. No, it's true. As you get older, things look older.
And it goes
it's like how everything from the 90s, all of the TV shows and stuff have that that weird grainy thing that like they just look old. I'm like, why? Did they look like that when we watched them? It's like, no, it's just over time film degrades. So
yeah, we have CRT eyes. Our eyes are like CRT
right?
TV.
I didn't always wear glasses to read. And
the first time I saw a DVD and I paused the DVD, I could not believe what my eyes were seeing. It was so crisp and clear. I was like, holy cow, this will never get better. And that's not like standard definition now.
Not at all like with VHS where you had those rolling bars of static or it was super blurry. Or
I've been playing Metroid on my analog pocket, and Metroid Prime 4 comes out tomorrow, and I've been watching like 4K video reviews on it, and I'm like, holy cow, this is like...
My uncle had the Pong machine, the first video game at home.
I have a Magnavox 200.
We all marveled at like, wow, look at the video game at your house. Yeah. No, anyway.
Oh my gosh, I was playing the Atari 2600 version on this.
Right here, Andrew, have you read this? You need to read this. It was really good. It was really good, Andrew. Read it.
Yeah. All righty. I think I'm ready to get out of here. I seriously have I've got a podcast to be on. I'm excited about talking about movies. And I'm going to have some dinner. I made some goulash last night, and we're going to have the leftovers today.
It sounds delightful.
All righty. Allison, thanks for joining me. Thanks for everybody for coming into the chat and giving us shit. We love you guys.
We love you more than we love our luggage.
Yeah. And I'll be, again, members. If you're a member of either the Casino Skunk Secret Society, which is my personal Patreon page, or a member of Lanterns Live, on Monday, I'll be doing a member-only live stream covering the disgraced Gerard Jones run of Green Lantern and how we should deal and think about it as a book moving forward. It's not the most fun, so if you're not around for that, Wednesday with Vactor talking about Green Lantern Corps 11, and then Morgan Hampton a week after. So excited. Great stuff coming up. And Allison, thanks again for joining me.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
When you go through your GL books, let me know, and I'll go download them.
We will figure it. Yeah, no, we'll do the thing and talk about old comics. Like us.
Old comics. Thank you, everybody. Until next time, remember, beware my podcast. It's Lanterns Live. Bye.